Welcome, friends. I hope you are good. So, let's go to the story. A breathtaking panoramic view of the ancient River Nile at the break of dawn, circa 2500 BCE. The river glimmers in shades of deep amber and rose gold as the sun rises over the horizon. Lush green papyrus reeds line the riverbanks, and felucca sailboats drift silently across the water. In the distance, the silhouettes of ancient Egyptian villages and mud brick temples are visible. Farmers work the fertile black soil left behind by the river's annual flood. Ibis birds fly in formation above the water. The sky is painted in gradients of orange, violet, and pale blue. The atmosphere is serene, sacred, and timeless. A majestic and powerful ancient Egyptian pharaoh, seated on a massive golden throne inside a grand palace hall, surrounded by towering hieroglyph-covered columns. He wears the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt, a magnificent collar of gold and lapis lazuli, and a ceremonial pleated white linen kilt. His eyes are lined with kohl, and his expression is commanding, divine, and utterly still. Priests and scribes kneel before him, heads bowed in reverence. Shafts of sunlight pierce through high stone windows, casting dramatic golden beams across the polished floor. The atmosphere is one of absolute power and divine authority. Photorealistic, hyper-detailed, cinematic composition, warm golden lighting, epic historical art. The brilliant ancient Egyptian architect Imhotep stands before a massive clay model of the step pyramid of Saqqara, surrounded by papyrus scrolls, reed brushes, and clay tablets covered in hieroglyphic calculations. He is a middle-aged man of intense focus and genius, wearing a white linen robe with shaved head and dark, intelligent eyes. Behind him, through an open stone window, the construction site of the step pyramid of Saqqara is visible against a blazing desert sky. Workers pulling stone blocks on wooden sledges, ramps of sand and mud rising into the air, the pyramid already 3 tiers high. The scene captures the birth of monumental architecture. Dramatic lighting, photorealistic, cinematic, richly detailed ancient world atmosphere. An awe-inspiring wide aerial view of the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza at its most intense phase, around 2560 BCE. Tens of thousands of workers, organized into disciplined teams, haul enormous limestone blocks weighing several tons each up massive mud and rubble ramps using wooden sledges, ropes, and sheer human force. The pyramid is already 2/3 complete, its smooth white limestone casing gleaming blindingly in the harsh midday sun. The Giza Plateau is a sea of organized activity: quarrying teams, transport crews, water carriers, overseers, and engineers. A river barge offloads polished granite blocks in the background. Dust fills the air. The scale is godlike and humbling. Epic cinematic view, hyper-detailed, photorealistic, golden desert light, 8K. A dramatic torchlit interior view of the Grand Gallery inside the Great Pyramid of Khufu. The corridor soars nearly 9 meters high and stretches deep into darkness, its walls constructed of perfectly fitted polished limestone blocks rising in a corbelled vault on both sides, narrowing toward the ceiling. The floor slopes sharply upward at a 26-degree angle. A lone ancient Egyptian priest or royal official walks slowly up the passage, holding a flickering oil lamp, casting dancing shadows across the ancient stone walls. The silence is absolute. The air is cool and still. This is one of the most sacred and secret spaces in the ancient world. Atmospheric, cinematic, highly detailed stone textures, dramatic lighting, mysterious and reverent mood, photorealistic rendering. A solemn and sacred ancient Egyptian mummification ritual taking place inside a beautifully decorated embalming tent, illuminated by the warm glow of oil lamps and incense smoke. Priests wearing the jackal mask of Anubis, god of the dead, perform careful and ritualistic procedures over the wrapped body of a pharaoh laid on a stone embalming table. Canopic jars of alabaster containing the preserved organs stand to one side. The walls of the tent are painted with vivid scenes from the Book of the Dead, weighing of the heart, the field of reeds, Osiris on his throne. Linen bandages, golden amulets, and ritual tools are arranged with precision. The atmosphere is profoundly spiritual, serious, and otherworldly. Photorealistic, richly detailed, warm amber and incense blue tones, sacred atmosphere, cinematic. A spectacular and mythologically rich depiction of the ancient Egyptian Hall of Judgment in the underworld, presided over by the majestic green-skinned god Osiris, seated on a celestial throne. Before him, the great scales of Maat are perfectly balanced. On one side, a golden feather, on the other, a human heart glowing faintly with inner light. The jackal-headed god Anubis carefully adjusts the scales with solemn concentration. The ibis-headed Thoth records the verdict on a papyrus scroll. 42 divine assessors line the walls. In the shadows, the terrifying creature Amit, part lion, part hippopotamus, part crocodile, waits hungrily. The hall is enormous, columned in gold, lit by an unearthly blue-white glow. Epic mythological art, hyper-detailed, cinematic scale, divine and haunting atmosphere. The Great Sphinx of Giza, bathed in the extraordinary light of a desert sunset, the sky behind it aflame with deep crimson, burning orange, and violet. The Sphinx's weathered limestone face, enormous and serene, gazes steadily eastward across the Giza Plateau. The sand around its base glows like molten copper. The second pyramid of Khafre rises behind it, its peak still catching the last rays of sunlight. A thin crescent moon hangs in the deepening blue above. The scene is utterly timeless, as if 1,000 years could pass and nothing would change. The air shimmers with desert heat. No tourists, no modern intrusions, only the Sphinx, the pyramids, the sand, and the eternal sky. Photorealistic, cinematic, golden hour lighting, majestic and serene, ultra-high detail, 8K. A sweeping, otherworldly nighttime view of all three great pyramids of Giza, Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure, standing beneath a luminous full moon in an ink-black desert sky, ablaze with thousands of stars and the faint silver sweep of the Milky Way. The pyramids cast long blue-silver shadows across the pale sand. The moonlight catches the remaining white limestone casing on Khafre's pyramid, making it glow like polished ivory. A gentle desert wind sends ripples through the sand dunes in the foreground. The scene is one of profound silence, antiquity, and cosmic beauty. The pyramids look exactly as they did 5,000 years ago, eternal, perfect, and impossible. Ultra-realistic nighttime photography style, astrophotography quality, breathtaking scale, cinematic composition, 8K resolution.
A warm, humanizing scene outside the workers' village near the Giza Pyramid construction site at dusk, circa 2560 BCE. Groups of ancient Egyptian laborers, men and women of various ages, rest and celebrate after a long day's work. Some sit around fire pits, eating large meals of bread, fish, and roasted meat provided by the royal kitchens. Children run between the workers' mud brick houses. A musician plays a harp, and another beats a hand drum as several workers clap and dance. Graffiti-like team names and hieroglyphs are painted on a nearby stone wall. The partially completed Great Pyramid is visible on the horizon, glowing in the last golden light of sunset. The atmosphere is joyful, communal, and deeply human. Warm firelight and sunset tones, photorealistic, richly detailed, everyday ancient Egyptian life.
A dramatic aerial perspective of the Dashur royal necropolis in ancient Egypt, showing both the bent pyramid and the red pyramid standing in the vast golden desert, separated by a stretch of pale sand and rocky terrain. The bent pyramid's distinctive shape, its angle visibly changing midway up, is captured with architectural precision. Its original white limestone casing still partially intact and gleaming. The red pyramid stands in the background, perfectly proportioned, its warm pinkish granite surface glowing under the harsh midday sun. The desert stretches endlessly in all directions, broken only by the shimmer of heat haze on the horizon. The sky is a deep, vivid cobalt blue with a few wisps of cloud. The scene conveys the experimental genius and bold ambition of Pharaoh Sneferu's pyramid builders. Photorealistic, epic historical landscape, cinematic drone perspective, ultra-detailed, 8K.
A breathtaking split reality wide-angle photograph of the Great Pyramids of Giza that simultaneously shows the ancient and the modern. On the left half of the image, the pyramids appear as they would have looked in 2500 BCE. Their surfaces covered in brilliant polished white Tura limestone that shimmers like mirrors. The capstone sheathed in electrum glinting in the sun. Surrounded by bustling ancient Egyptian life, priests, and palm trees. On the right half, the same pyramids appear exactly as they stand today. Weathered, ancient, ochre-brown stone exposed, but no less magnificent, with the sprawling modern city of Cairo and its high-rise buildings and highways visible in the background. The boundary between the two eras runs down the center of the image like a crack in time. Surreal, photorealistic, cinematic masterpiece. Concept art quality, emotionally powerful,